morning. How's your garden grow?
With lots of love. So this is a basic 101 composting demonstration. Composting, there is a science to it. This is not a video about that. This is just to determine if you actually want to compost or not. We're going to go through the very basic things that you need to know. And if you decide that you don't want to compost, but you want to do something for the environment, there is probably a commercial composting company in larger cities. In Asheville, North Carolina, where I live, we actually have two that you could get to come to your home, drop off a bucket, and come by and pick it up, and then they take it and use it for commercial compost. We also have composting in Buncombe County over at the landfill that you could take your own bucket of compost to. Okay, so regardless of whether you're going to do tumblers or if you're doing bins, I'm doing this demonstration because in our Olivet community we have some bins at our community garden. So two things that you need to know is green equals nitrogen, brown equals carbon. Make that 50-50 of how you compost. It's easy to get too much green in there, so be sure that you get brown. A couple of things to know about brown. Coffee is not, even though the color is brown, it's still a nitrogen. So be careful about how much coffee you add into the mix. Always start off, whether you're in a tumbler or if you're just doing a bin, start off with some brown material. Some sticks is actually really good. You put it in there, that's going to keep it off the ground and give you a little bit of support there. Then you can take either from your garden bed or your kitchen scraps and put your green material on top. Put your green material on top. And then you would need to have some more brown material. Now I keep, for the brown material, I keep anything that has been dried up, like in my flower beds that's dry, items like these stalks are dried. I keep them, put that in there. I also have, as long as you have cardboard that does not have any tape or glossy finish on it, you can use cardboard. The more that you have it cut up, the faster it decomposes, but you can put that on there. And then it's always best if you have a little bit more some sort of sticks to put again for aeration. And at that point, if you're doing like a community garden, you would need to turn it. And turning it could be done in several different ways. You could use a shovel to turn it. You could pull out a rake and turn it through with a rake. Or you could use some sort of aerator, potato fork, something like that, that will turn the mix. And then you start all over again. Now, same thing that you do in a tumbler would be a little bit of sticks, brown material, green material, and turn it. As for tumblers for small backyards, it just is a good way to make sure that you turn the compost. The more you turn it, the faster it's going to decompose. I personally like one chamber compost tumblers. Some people like two chambers. The two chambers can get a little heavy, but the two chambers, what you do is you keep rotating until it gets a pretty brown brown, and then once it gets a little brown, you stick it back into this section and start all over. Now let me show you what I mean by brown. So at some point you're going to have to touch your compost, and this is what I pulled out of the tumbler, and it is nice and brown. It looks like we're gonna shake it out in the milk carton that we got. And there's some good compost. That is really good compost. I'll look into this. Some of these that looks like balls are actually soil that we can break up at this point. So I'll go through and break that up. And then I will put this material back into the compost as brown material when I'm starting all over again. Anything that's not decomposed to a maximum level. And then once you have this compost in crumbles like this, what is good to do is put a little extra soil in there, mix it in together. If you're going to put it directly on your soil, on your plants, that's called dressing. So you scrape it into the existing soil a little bit. That's how it works best and gives you nutrients. I do have a PDF if you want to email me about the basic things of what you put in the compost and what you don't put in your compost. Basically, don't put any animal products of any kind in your compost. Also, don't put diseased plants. So if you're pulling from your garden and you've got something that's got mold or disease on it, don't put that in there. Otherwise, it's sticks, green, brown, turn. Sticks, green, brown, turn. If you got any other questions, be sure to email me at mary@lovethegreen.org.